Just when you thought that Python couldn't get any cooler, you find out it includes numbers and math? Yes, are you kidding me? No, seriously. Kinda had me worried there for a sec, because I wasn't a big fan of math in school, and math wasn't a big fan of me. I wasn't good at it. You don't have to be good at math to learn Python. And the math I'm talking about is like stupid simple, like 1 + 2 = 4 simple. And it's this simple math that we're gonna learn here in this video that makes Python so powerful. Maybe math wasn't fun for you in school, but it's about to get lit with Python. Trust me, it's gonna be awesome. So here we go. This is episode 3 of my free Python series where I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know to become dangerous in Python. Episode 1 and 2, we covered some stuff like strings and variables. And we had like 7 cups of coffee. Or was that just me? I hope you joined me in that. And now we're gonna build on that knowledge and have even more coffee. So let's dive right in, but first, what do you need? Well, if you're new here, you need nothing. I've got a free Python lab, check that link in the description. You can start coding right now from your browser or even, man, your stinking phone. And also, you're gonna need coffee. It's just required. NetworkChuck.coffee. And also a massive shout out to the sponsor of this entire series and the reason it can be free here on YouTube, IT Pro TV. I use IT Pro TV to learn everything in IT, from Linux to networking to hacking and, you guessed it, Python. So whatever you want to learn in IT, from CCNA to A+ to everything, they got your back. They got fantastic videos, hands-on labs, practice exams, pretty much everything you need to get started in IT or advance your career in IT. So check it out, link below, and use my code NetworkChuck and you'll get 30% off forever. Let's get started. So just like episode 1 and 2, go ahead and fire up that lab, check that link in the description, load that sucker up, and we'll get started. Because we gotta do this hands-on. You gotta start coding with me right now. Best way to learn. Okay, so far in this course, we talked about 2 very big ideas in Python: variables and strings. So go ahead with me right now as I'm typing this, type it with me. Create the variable name, and then assign that variable the string of your name. Try it out. Doing mine here. There's my variable, and there's my string. String. We know it's a string because it's between quotes. We know it's a variable because it ain't got nothing, man. Now let's talk about numbers. The first type of number we'll talk about is our good old whole number. It's the first thing we learn in math, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what we're also gonna learn here with Python. In Python, a whole number is referred to as an integer because they just have to be different. No, I'm just kidding. Well, kind of. That's what it's called, an integer. Let's go make one right now. Come on, let's go. You ready? It's super complicated. Watch this. I want you to create the integer 7. Done. That's an integer right there. If I were to run this code, it's fine. By clicking, notice though I don't have anything outputting because I'm not telling it to, but that is indeed an integer, AKA whole number. And really, it's that simple. Now, just like we can assign a string to a variable, we can also assign a number or an integer to a variable. So why don't you do that for me right now? Assign that number 7 to a variable named age. I'm gonna do it. And it's very simple. Age equals 7. Now, I'm not 7, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. I am 31. Whew, I'm getting old, man. Need some more coffee just thinking about that. Now let's go ahead and print those suckers out. So just below all that code here, we're gonna do print. We'll print our variable name. And just below that, we'll print our variable age. And let's run that code real quick. Run. Awesome. NetworkChuck 31. Okay, cool. We got 2 data types here. We got a string and we have an integer. Awesome. Now real quick, I wanna show you a handy way to identify what type of data we're looking at. And it's a function called type. Literally, it's what it is. You'll type it in like this, type, and then parentheses. And whatever the variable is or the data is, you'll put it in between. So for example, if we wanted to find out what type of data the variable name was, we would type in type and then put name. Let's try it out. So just below all this junk, we're gonna do type, parentheses, and then name. Now, if you run that code, we're not gonna get anything. Go ahead and click on run, nothing, because we gotta print that out. So I'll just put the print function around that, print, and then parentheses around that. So now I'm using the print function to print the type function. Just programming's so cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and print that. So now right here in our output, we see the class is str, or string. Let's do that same thing for our integer and let's see what happens. Spoiler alert, it's gonna say it's an integer, but let's just try it out. Print type age, and we'll print that sucker out. Boom, okay, cool. Just had to prove it to you so you know I wasn't lying. Strings and integers right there. Now, I want you to do something for me. Let's do a little experiment here. I want you to add quotes around this integer right here, around 31. Do it, let's do it right now. This is gonna be cool. All right, so quote and quote. So now let me ask you a question. When we do run this code here and we try to find out what type of data age is, What's it gonna say now that we've added quotes? Let's try it out. Go and click on run. Ooh, did you see that coming? Both of them are now strings, because remember, anything between quotes is a string, even if you put a number there. That number is now seen by Python as just regular text, a string. Knowing this is gonna come in handy here in a moment when we keep working on our robot barista. Yeah, I didn't forget about him. Did you? We're gonna keep making him better. So real quick, I want you to take those quotes off now because we want that 31 or whatever yours is to be a number. By the way, you can put NetworkChuck and 31 here if you want. If you wanna be as old as me. Ugh, gross. But anyways, just like math, we also have decimals, right? So let me type in a new variable here. I'll do actual underscore age equals, and my real age in decimal point is actually 31.96. And yeah, my birthday is coming up. Can you figure out when it is? Let me know. Now, as soon as we add that decimal to our number here, our integer, it's no longer an integer. It's now what's called a floating point number, or float for short. Gosh, that made me want a root beer float. So real quick, let's actually print that type out just to see what it looks like. So I'll do print type, and then that variable, actual underscore age. And let's do that, print it out, or run the code, run. Man, look at us, we got 3 data types in Python now. String, integer, was that an arrow? Let's fix that, let's go. And float, AKA just text, whole numbers, and decimals. Now again, normally when you start talking about numbers, you're gonna start talking about math, right? And yes, there is math. Actually, you could use Python as a calculator. Like, watch this. Let's remove all this code right here. Just go in here and delete it. So right now when we run this, nothing's gonna be outputted because we're just setting or assigning variables here. So let's do some Python math. So do this real quick. Print 5 space plus space 7. What do you think is gonna happen there? Let's try it out. Let's run the code. Run. Simple enough, right? It did math. 5 plus 7. Here we have the integer 5 and the integer 7, and we added them together and we printed it out. We can also subtract 5 minus 7, -2. Yes, negatives can be integers. We can also divide with the forward slash. We can multiply with the asterisk. We can even do 5 to the 7th power exponents. We can even do all of that in one print function. Plus 6 divided by 9 times 7, or I typed 6 times 6 minus 4. Now let's run it. Now you're probably not surprised that Python can do math, because I mean, computers, they're pretty big on math. They love it. It's kind of their love language. And also, in case you were wondering, Python does follow the order of operations. So dust off the cobwebs of that math knowledge and try to remember that, or just Google it. So it'll do exponents first, multiplication, you know how it does. Just math stuff. But it is important to remember that. Now we can also set that entire equation to a variable. I'll create a variable named math and have that equal all that stuff. If I run that code, of course, it's not gonna show anything because I'm not printing it out. Let's print out math down here. Print math. And let's run that. Cool. Now real quick, I want you to try this. First, make sure you do have these variables in place. So your age, try to figure out your actual age. There's a website actually called agenow.io, kind of neat. And then type out some kind of math problem or equation and set that to the variable math. Once you do that, I want you to add all those variables together and set it to the variable results. Pause the video, I'll wait. And unpause, let's try it. So to do this, first I'm gonna remove that print function. We don't need that right now. I'll define my variable results, have that equal. Now I could go through here and painstakingly type in each number, but we don't have to do that. We can just simply type in the variables and add those variables together. So I'll say age plus actual age plus math. And then let's print out those results. So print the variable results and let's see what happens. Bam, we added them together. Now pop quiz. That result, or the variable results, what type of data is that? Do you know? Well, if we can look at the results and we know that there's a decimal right there, we know a decimal is a float or a floating point number. And fun fact, anytime Python divides or uses division, it will convert those numbers it's dividing into floating point numbers before it divides. And the result will be a floating point. So anyways, what we covered so far is that you can do math in Python. If you want to add, it's a plus sign. Subtract, it's a minus sign. So stuff that you probably intuitively already knew, right? Multiply, it's going to be that asterisk. Divide, forward slash. And then exponents, which this one may not have been too obvious, double asterisk. 8 to the power of 25, whatever you want to do. So now that you are armed with the knowledge of Python math, we can add some features to our robot barista. Because as it stands right now, our coffee is free. And we're losing money like crazy. So we have to actually start charging our customers some money, and to do that we need math. So go ahead and open up the second lab for this episode. Yeah, 2 labs. Yes, let's do it. We're gonna modify our NetworkChuck coffee script. Let's do this. Quick recap. We've expertly programmed him to greet our customers. We then program him to ask their names, and they can tell him and he'll remember it because we assign it to a variable. He then greets them with that name, gives them a menu. He will ask them what they want. They will tell him, he'll remember it and tell them it'll be ready here in a moment. Let's run it real quick just for fun, because it is fun. Run. What's your name? My name is Beatrice. I would like a latte. Thank you, Robot Barista. And it's gonna be ready in a moment. I'm so at home. But we're losing money. Let's charge some money real quick. Now here, I wanna see if you can do this. Let's challenge you a bit. Here are your tasks, and then we'll walk through it together. Task number 1. First, create a variable named price and assign an integer. We're setting our price for each coffee. And just to keep things simple, everything on the menu is the same price. Now for me, I wanna set mine to $8 because we're fancy, man. NetworkChuck coffee is good. Anyways, you can set it to 8 if you want, it doesn't have to be 8. Task number 2, program our robot barista. We'll call him RB for short. Robot barista. To ask how many coffees they would like, and also make sure he remembers how many they want. And finally, task number 3. Now keep in mind, this can be done various ways. Each step can be done, well, step 1 is pretty straightforward. Step 2 and 3 can be done in a number of ways. As long as you accomplish it, that's cool. Step 3, or task 3, program RB, Robot Barista, to give them their total cost of all the coffees. So right now, pause the video, see if you can do this, add this to your script. I'll wait. And unpause, here we go. First, let's fuel up again. Python math. Just when you thought you were done with math in school, here it comes again, but it's okay, it's still fun. Well, it wasn't fun before, it's fun now though. So our first thing is to figure out where in our script do we want to ask them? Well, looks like right here after we set the order equal to input. So first, let me set our price. Our variable will be named price, have that equal to, and again, it was gonna be $8, so just simply 8. Now, I will say this, as we're doing this, and you may have tried this already, there's a little gotcha there. You may have hit this error, and we'll talk about how you can fix it. Anyways, this solves task number 1. Task number 2, Robot Barista needs to ask our customer how many coffees they want and remember it. So that's gonna involve a variable and the input function. I'll name my variable, and you could have done whatever you wanted to. I'll name mine quantity. I'll have that equal the input function, so input, because we want to get some information, some data from our customers, and we'll ask, how many coffees would you like? And then I'll put a space after that to make sure it looks pretty. No, actually, you know what? I'll do not a space. I'll do a line break with our \n, new line indicator. So now at this point, we got our price variable set. We've got our quantity variable set, which will get data from our customer, and the Robot Barista will ask them for it. Now, let's do some math, because now the Robot Barista has to tell them their total. Now again, you could have done this a number of ways, and maybe you did hit a hiccup, and we'll talk about that. But I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna start with calculating the total. I'm gonna do a variable for that. So I'll say total, and I'll have that equal, and then here's where the math comes in. The total will be the price of the coffee, right, times however many coffees they want. So let's do that math here in our variable. So I'll say price times quantity. That should work, right? You would think. Now to check our math, let's print the total. So I'll do print total, so I'll print the total variable, and let's see if it works. Let's go ahead and run the code. We'll run through it real quick. My name's Patricia. I want black coffee. I want 10 because I want to need some energy today. What just happened there? So what we wanted to happen was we wanted 8 times the quantity, which we typed in 10, which we know, based on simple math skills, it should be 80. But instead we got 8 tens. Why? Well, because of this. When you use the input function, whatever data it asks you for, that data is not going to be a number. It's not going to be an integer. What do you think it's going to be? It's going to be a string. So when we told Robot Barista to multiply price by quantity, he multiplied the integer 8 times the string 10. So he literally gave us 8 tens, which is kind of funny, right? But how do we fix that? Because it's not funny, we're trying to run a coffee shop here. How do we fix that? Well, what we need is for the input function, the data we receive from our customer, we need that not to be a string. We need that to be an integer, don't we? New concept time, here we go. You can convert data easily like this. Oh, it's so cool. Watch it. It's so powerful. You're gonna use this all the time, trust me. And we can do it in a number of places, but I wanna do it right here because it's very clear when you do it here. I don't know why I'm doing like this. I like to make it's very clear. Anyways, here we go. So here in our total with our math equation. Right now we're multiplying an integer with a string. Let's change that string into an integer. We can do it like this. We're gonna wrap them up. So watch here. Right here with our quantity variable, I'm gonna type in int and then parentheses. Put parentheses around him. Bam. What we just did here is pure magic. This function right here, this int function or integer function, turns whatever's inside into an integer. So now theoretically, if we did it right, we're multiplying integer by integer. Let's see if it works. Let's run our code. Run. Walk through it again. My name is Ben. I would like an espresso, please. I want 20. Fingers crossed, see if it works. Bam! Yes! Okay, we successfully converted our string into an integer for the sake of math. Yes! Cool, so we accomplished task 1 and task 2. But now task 3, we have to make our robot barista tell our customer that they have a total. So just under print total, actually we're gonna remove print total. We want him to actually say something human-like. So we'll say print, and we'll do a string. We'll say, thank you, period, your total is, we'll do a colon and a space, and then we've been here before. We're gonna concatenate, we're gonna add some stuff together in our print function, add some strings. So we'll do plus, space, and then we'll do total, the variable. Now, more foreshadowing. This probably is not gonna work. Do you know why though? Do you know why this won't work? Let's run the code and see what happens. Click on run. What's my name? Tom Riddle. I want a cappuccino. I want 70 cappuccinos. Whoa! Error. Ugh. Get used to it, this could happen to you a lot. Now let's take a look at what happened here. We have a type error. Now we know from earlier that when we are talking about type, we're talking about type of data. When we use our type function, it will tell us what kind of data it is. So saying type error, Robot Barista can only concatenate string, not integer, to string. So what he's saying here is that, hey, I can add a string to another string, but bro, you threw at me the problem of a string plus an integer, which equals, can't do that. I'm confused. I don't know how to do that. We have the reverse problem now, don't we? Earlier when we did our math problem, we needed a string to become an integer. Now it seems we need an integer to become a string. See if you can solve this using the same mentality, the same pattern that we just followed. See if you can do it. It's actually crazy simple. Now, whereas earlier when we wanted to convert our string into an integer, we surrounded it with the int function, just like so, turning it into an integer. We can do the same thing, but instead of int, we'll do str for string to that same variable, just like that. Let's try it, let's try it. Now, it's not gonna be quantity, right? It's gonna be total. So it's gonna be total right here on total. I feel like I'm saying toto. Total, type in str, parentheses, and we'll wrap it up both sides. So now we should, at this point, be adding a string or concatenating a string with another string. We're converting this number, this integer, into a string. Let's run the code and see what happens. Hello, I am Poppy. I would like a black coffee, please. I would like over 9,000 coffees, please. Woo! We got it! We got it! It worked! So take that in for a second. We converted a string to an integer, and then an integer into a string. That's programming, man. That's programming. Anyways, sorry, I'm way too hopped up on caffeine. Coffee break. Now that is some coffee bill. 72,000, business is good. Now, real quick, there's no dollar sign. Let's add a dollar sign to it. Now, how would you do that? How would you add a dollar sign to that statement? Well, it's pretty simple, right? We go in here, and within that string, let's say like right around here, we'll put a dollar sign. Let's run it. Run. Hello, my name is John Hammond. I would like an espresso. I would like 8,000 espressos, please. All right, now we're talking money. Now, one more task for you. I want you, in this last statement, for the robot barista saying, hey, sounds good, John Hammond. We'll have that espresso ready for you here in a moment. That doesn't sound right, because John Hammond wanted 8,000 espressos, and we're only saying 1? Come on, robot barista, get your head together. So I want you to throw a number in here. Say, sounds good, John Hammond. We'll have, change that to a your. We'll have your, that want you to say your 8,000 or however many you type in espressos ready for you in a moment. Let's do that real quick. It's pretty simple. It's using skills and tools we've already learned. So down here, where it says sounds good, we say plus the name. We'll have that order ready for you here in a moment. We'll change the that to your. We'll have your, and then we need to add another thing to this. We'll add the quantity, and then we'll add one more string after that. And it will simply just be a space character. That way it's nice and pretty. Well, let's run that code, see if it works. Run. My name is Nick. Nick likes black coffee. 92,000 coffees, please. That's some coffee bill, man. Good job, Robot Barista. Now sure, black coffee is not in plural. We haven't got to how we can do that yet. But man, this is beautiful. Our Robot Barista, he's a champ. Whew, okay. we did a lot. We learned some Python math, which normally math sucks. I think we can all agree with that, right? But math and Python, much better. So here we learned the new data types. We learned about integers, which are our whole numbers. We learned about floating point numbers, or floats, which are our decimals. And then we saw how we could use math, basically treating Python like a calculator, and do some cool stuff, like adding prices to our coffee shop. Who would have thought to add prices to coffee? And we did some crazy things like converting integers into strings and strings into integers. dude, we're doing some cool stuff, and we're just getting started. In case you were wondering, yeah, Python does get way cooler than this. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below. Make sure you continue to hack YouTube by liking this video and hitting that notification bell and subscribing. You gotta hack YouTube today, ethically, of course. And again, a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video and this entire series, IT Pro TV, who again, I use to learn everything about IT, and you should too. Check them out, use my link below or my code NetworkChuck and get 30% off forever. You thought that was gonna take forever, didn't you? Oh, and also, I've got a bonus quiz and an extra lab for you if you want to try it out and keep going, so check it out, link below. And the first 3 people to get 100% on that quiz will get some free NetworkChuck coffee. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have today. Whew, Python's amazing. I think we can all agree, and thank you, Python, for making math cool again. All right, I'll catch you guys next time.